Hello, my name is Carolyn Moore and I'm going to be giving you a short presentation on Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers, The Story of Success. Gladwell talks about three main components that lead to a person's success. The first of them being practice. Someone must practice enough to become an expert in the field that they're going to become successful or an outlier in. The second component of success is timing and environment. The person must be born into the right environment at the right time to become extremely successful. The third component is culture, or a person's cultural identity, as Gladwell explains. The culture someone's brought up into leads to shape the person who they are, and this is passed down from generation to generation. And during the presentation, I'm going to expand on those three components of success. First, we're going to be talking about the rule of 10,000, or practice. Gladwell uses the Beatles as an example. They were given the opportunity to practice 7 days a week in Hamburg, Germany, and they were given the opportunity to really hone their skills and become confident at music. Bill Gates was also given the same opportunity to practice, and he had the drive to practice computer programming for about 10,000 hours. Gladwell stresses having the opportunity to practice. A lot of people would like to practice for that amount of time, but because of a part-time job or family obligations, they aren't given the opportunity to practice for about 10,000 hours. But the Beatles and Bill Gates were given this opportunity to practice. The next component we're going to be talking about is timing or environment. And again, we'll talk about Bill Gates. He was born in the 50s, so when he was in high school, the advent of computer programming was at its very first stages. And coincidentally, the environment that Bill Gates was brought up into, his high school near Silicon Valley had a computer lab, which a lot of schools at the time didn't have because computers were so expensive. Gates was able to spend a lot of time in the computer lab practicing computer programming, and later he went to a local college while he was still in high school and was given even more time to practice programming, and he was coached by some of the professors. If he wasn't given this opportunity to practice all of his computer programming skills, and he wasn't brought up in the Silicon Valley environment, and he wasn't born at the time when all this was going on, he would not have founded Microsoft, and he wouldn't be so wildly successful as he is today. And the last component we're going to be talking about is culture, or the cultural identity that people are brought up into that shapes who they are and how they act. In America, our school system is focused around the harvesting schedule, which is quite out of date because there's not many farmers in America anymore, but we have a long summer vacation because he uses the example of potato farming, where you have several months where you have to work very hard to farm the potatoes and then a lot of months off. Whereas the Asian culture, they have school all year round, and this is because of the rice paddy farming culture. And it's a lot of tedious work that must go on all year round. So Asians are in school all year round, and they are dedicated to what they're doing and focus on it a lot more. And in America, we have the long summer vacations. And these two things, while they're not direct components of success, they do always shape the people we are and lead to how successful or not successful people will be. And in conclusion, it takes a perfect storm to make someone extremely successful, such as Mozart or Bill Gates. The perfect storm is a combination of practice, timing, and culture that all has to come together at the exact right time and moment. And people can still always be successful, but Gladwell stresses that it's sheer luck that someone has the perfect storm of these three components that makes them wildly successful. Thank you for listening to my presentation.